Hey Francis from Yorkshire. Hey Laura, good evening. Come on later just to confuse everybody. Can only see showing 22. Hi Miss Sunshine, 52. The stream okay? It's not buffering or anything, is it? Hi Lucinda, Lawless. Hi Diane. Hello Diane. Hi Janie Taylor. Got a few new names in here tonight, which is always good. It's always good to see new people. Just going to see if a few more people come in just before I start. I'm only going to come on for an hour. It's just a couple of things I want to address or talk about. Hope everyone's had a good day. Oh, it's 10 p.m. here in the UK and it's cold, really cold today. Proper winter's setting in now, I think. Really cold, dark. So I know Francis is in Yorkshire. Whereabouts is everyone else? Is everyone in the UK or US? I know we've got quite a few in the US. Snowing a bit in Ohio. Someone else said it was snowing the other day as well. Someone else in the US said it was snowing. See, we don't often get snow. It's always a bit of a novelty when we get it. When we get it in the UK, we're always really excited, but it never really lasts. We have had a few recent years. We've had it where it's been a little bit better. Full out winter in Alberta. Wow, you get loads of snow, don't you, in Canada? Wow, I'd love to see proper snow like that. Like you get out there, and in the US as well. So yeah, has anyone seen the Dr. Phil podcast? He's been doing a series of podcasts. Oh, Diane's in the UK. Yeah, he's been doing a series of podcasts about Chris Watts, funny enough. He sort of put it into like a four-part series. He's actually got he's got his own YouTube site, a massive site, and then he's got a Dr. Phil's podcast site as well now. It's called Fill in the Blanks. He's done a series on the Chris Watts story. It's called The Devil Beside Me. It's currently on, I believe, part 4. But he's kind of retraced the story. Yeah, you've seen him, Jane. That's good. Yeah, the 4th one's just come out today, actually. And he's sort of retraced the whole story, you know, from with the new confessions, taking into account his newer confession, Cadle's book, if you can call it a third confession. And I just wanted to go over the bits. I know a lot of people were expecting, you know, because everything Dr. Phil says, people seem to take as gospel. So I just want to or in a minute, I'm just going to go over what he said, what he covered about NK's involvement, because I know a lot of people were expecting him to sort of start going after NK and um, really going after her hard. And I think people seem to think that he knew stuff and that new stuff was coming to light about her, but I don't really think there's any difference, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, he does make a lot of errors in his information, you're right. And it infuriates me because there's adverts every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes when you're watching this stuff, there's advert after advert in the most insensitive of places as well. Um, yeah, which is just annoying. Um, right, another reason I came on tonight, a couple of people have informed me that my name is being slandered or has been slandered on YouTube today, which is nice. Hi, Genetic Code. Um, so apparently, I don't even know who this person is. I think he's called Misery or something. He's some kind of Howard. I think he's some kind of Howard Stern wannabe. Um, and I believe it is also posted on Granny Fanny's channel that they've obviously got hold of my full name and they've gone on to some UK and Ireland database site which lists pedos and child predators. And trying to be clever, they found somebody with the same name as me. And so they're trying to slander my name across YouTube, saying that I'm a paedophile. So whoever that Misery guy is a complete idiot because he's done it on a live stream, which we've got recorded. So he's going to be reported. Now I've just checked Granny Fanny channel. I can't find that channel anymore, Granny Fanny's channel, so I don't know. Martin's put a video up, is he? Okay, great. I don't know what these people are doing. Feel free, look into this guy, whether his name, I don't give a crap. Go for it. I've got nothing to hide. It's absolute bull crap. They're just trying to smear my name. They're trying to smear Team Phoenix's name. Some guy lives in Ipswich. He's 53. Go for it. Look into him. Go for it. Look into him as much as you want. Go and find him. Go and find his picture. Go and find him. Go for it. But I'm not having videos up on YouTube saying that me or our channel has got or is a paedophile, has got a paedophile associated with it. So you can get lost. You're going to get reported. And Jamie, I know that was yours. Jamie's listening for Making Lemonade. It was your stream. Unfortunately, obviously, I've got to report your video. It's got to be taken down. I can't have it. It's not nice. It's not clever. So yeah, Jamie, I have emailed Jamie for Making Lemonade. I mean, I'll just ask if I'm going to have to report her channel, unfortunately, unless she takes it down. So obviously, ultimately, she's going to be responsible for the guests that she has on there. I don't know why she had this guy on there. The guy was a complete idiot. And yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it? This Granny Fanny channel was all about against doxing and all that kind of thing. And seems like a little parting shot before he goes. His channel's gone or whatever. He thought he'd do that. So, but yeah, I'm not hiding. I've got nothing to hide. So yeah, go for it. If people want to look into that, go for it. Search it all you want. Find out who the guy is. I don't really give a shit. If you find him, give him one from me, because obviously he is a paedophile. Yeah, I know it's crap. It's crap, but that's what those people are like. Unfortunately, they disguise themselves as trying to do good and stopping people from doxing and all this, and then they're going to do something like that. I know Jamie has called this guy out, this Misery guy, whatever. I don't even know who the hell he is. But But he's got some questionable stuff, which has been on his own stream and has been recorded. And I don't think he likes the fact that people are calling him out for who he is. So, he's a mate of CK. Hi, Felly mate. Well, that kind of explains everything, doesn't it? That kind of explains everything. So, I think maybe he should look at his own house, really, before he starts trying to spread that kind of crap across YouTube. So, but anyway, I will be reporting that. So, if anyone does see it, I appreciate people that have been defending me. Hi, Tracy, as well. Defended me on there and defended the channel. It's much appreciated. But yeah, that just goes to show you the type of people they are. That they would do something like that on somebody's live stream as well. Yeah, it is a serious accusation, absolutely, and I'll be following up to the fullest as well. So don't worry about that. I mean, he's been so stupid saying that on a live stream, because he's not only named me, he's named the channel as well. So he's linked the two together. If he just said the name, then he's just calling out a report, which is fair enough. That's on there. It's a public report. There was a guy with that name. So, but he's also linked it now to this channel name. So everyone knows exactly who he's talking about. So yeah, utter crap. Utter crap. Do you think I'd be here running a channel if I had that kind of history behind me? I don't think I would I? And I've got nothing to hide. So say if people look into that and want to find the guy, go for it. I ain't got a problem with that. Anyway, so yeah, so just getting back to more serious matters. So yeah, I was listening to the Dr. Phil podcast. He was on part 4, and he started to talk about NK's potential involvement. I think a lot of people were hoping that Dr. Phil was going to start pushing the pedal down hard on Nicole Kessinger, but I'll read you out what he said, and I don't think it has. I mean, we're all for justice, absolutely. If she's guilty of anything, then absolutely, she needs to be brought to justice. But after this, I think we find all people are left with is just gossip, coincidences, sort of self-fabricated evidence. That's all they're left with now, really. There's nothing they can plant on her, unfortunately. And we've been saying this all along for ages. Coincidences don't make evidence. Her being a kind of low life scumbag bitch, if you like, doesn't make her a murderer without concrete evidence, cold hard evidence. Unfortunately, it doesn't. And whatever coincidences there were, or the fact that she knew that that Shanann was pregnant, it still doesn't make evidence against her. And like I've said, Tammy Lee was there when I think it was NK's first interview or second interview. She came in, shook hands with her. Do you really think Tammy Lee, I mean, the agents that broke Chris in 2 days, they broke him down. Do you really think she's going to shake her hand, look her in the eye, and just walk away if she thought she had any involvement? She's not going to do that, is she? She's not going to do that. So they haven't really got much left. They haven't got much left now, apart from, like I say, bringing up coincidences, kind of gossiping, and it's just tittle tattle. There's nothing to it. There's nothing substantial to it, and there's no evidence in there. There's nothing. So I don't know where some of these creators are so insistent that she had to be involved, where they're going to go with this. But so I'm just going to read out just part of what Dr. Phil said this is in part 4 of his series. If you haven't seen it, as I say, it's on his Dr. Phil's podcast, Fill in the Blanks. It's a 4-part series. It's called The Devil Beside Me. If you can put up with the annoying adverts every 5 minutes, then have a listen. It's quite interesting, but I think people are disappointed it doesn't bring anything new. I think Dr. Phil likes to kind of speculate as well, doesn't he, a bit, and kind of sensationalize stuff a little bit. I mean, you know what Dr. Phil is obviously all about views and money, isn't he? So anyway, so this was the part near the end when he started to talk about NK, so I'll just read it. I can't put Dr. Phil's voice on though. He talks a lot better than me. Of course, during his new confession, Chris's mistress Nicole comes up. After all, she was considered a main factor in his motivation, and he confirmed what investigators and we all were thinking. Chris claimed that from the start, Nicole was fully aware that he was married. I mean, of course she was. He says he never told her he was separated from Shanann. He says that when he first took out his phone to show Nicole pictures of his kids, that she saw a picture of Shanann on his home screen. So yeah, again, it's pretty obvious she would have known, isn't it? He says that she lied to authorities in order to save face and to create an image that would ensure that the public rallied around her, not against her. Well, I don't think that's quite worked. Hi, Julie One. Good to see you. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I don't think public's really rallied round her, have they? To be honest, but you know, I think we could all see that why she would do that to save face. I think probably a lot of women could understand that, and maybe they would do that in her position. I don't know. Chris also says that she was the one who pursued him, of course, which he enjoyed. It flattered him and built him up. Remember all these mushy cards Chris would write to his mistress? Well, he told investigators that he felt like it was true. He felt like he loved her. He told them he felt like he could be himself for his mistress more than he could with his wife. She valued his opinion. She wanted to have sex all the time. He had blinders on. He didn't stop to think how he was betraying his family. It's interesting to piece together what these two actually knew about each other. So Chris now claims that Nicole knew she was the other woman, and at times she would get upset about having to play second fiddle, like when Chris would have to rush home to his family. And remember these internet searches she did about marrying your mistress. Chris claims he knew about those searches. That's actually the first I've heard of that. I don't know. Has anyone else heard that he knew about those? Chris knew that she was searching about marrying a mistress. I didn't know that. I don't know whether that's new. I don't know if Dr. Phil's just thrown it in there or not. While he said he never told her his wife was pregnant, he wasn't sure if she had looked at his or his wife's Facebook profile and seen for herself. Again, probably most likely that she did know, isn't it, that Shanann was pregnant. But again, is that any kind of crime? Is that any kind of evidence against her? It's not, is it? Of course she lied. Of course she did. And of course she probably knew that Shanann was pregnant. You know, social media and stuff. I know it does. She did claim she didn't have any social media profiles. Now I don't know whether they could find out. Whether she deleted them all when they found out. But there you go. Look, we can't definitely say if this mistress did or did not know about Chris still being very much married and expecting. Chris lies like a rug, so just because he's claiming to be completely truthful and candid, now does not mean that he is. Of course, for the mistress, it looks better to say that. Looks better to say she had no idea he was married, and for Chris, it looks better to say that she did. Still, between her Google search history and social media, pretty hard to believe that she was kept completely in the dark. However, Chris made it abundantly clear to both police during the investigation and the FBI and CBI afterwards that his mistress had no part in the plotting or physically carrying out the murder of his family. He does say he acted alone. He claims multiple times to have remorse for his sins. He says he hears the voice of his daughter Bella screaming, "Daddy, no." He says he hears it in his head every day. He says he thinks every day what he would be doing with his kids. He said if he hadn't done what he'd done right now, he would have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-month-old son, and a beautiful wife. Like I say, it's all about him. So now it's all about poor Chris. I'm all alone. So yeah, that was Dr. Phil. That was Dr. Phil. So I know a lot of people were thinking that Dr. Phil was kind of going to go after NK, but I think he really brought anything new to the table. Dr. Phil was probably told to leave NK alone. It's possible, isn't it? It's possible. It's possible she got her lawyers onto him or something. It's possible. But yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed with that. But, you know, what he's saying is pretty much true, isn't it? There isn't any hard evidence against her, so where'd you go with that? What are you left with? Like I say, you're just left with coincidences, um, sort of muddied evidence, muddied kind of evidence that people are trying to put forward. And not a lot else. Just a lot of gossip and story making, really. People trying to put her there, making up their own little stories of trying to put her there, but not a lot else. So it'll be interesting to see now if people, I mean, how long are they going to keep this going? Are people still going to be saying this stuff in 5 years? And why would Chris not be rolling on her? Why wouldn't he be talking about? Why wouldn't he? Why is he just? I mean, we all know how he likes to. He doesn't like to take responsibility, and he likes to, offload responsibility to other people, stuff like that. He's not one to sit there and just sit in prison, um, not, um, not outing her, is he? Why would he? Why would he do that? That's what doesn't make sense to me. If she's in any part responsible, why is he not saying? What's he waiting for? What is he waiting for? Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, lying to the cops is not. It depends what she's lying about, doesn't it? If she's just lying about the fact that she didn't know that Sinead was pregnant and she did, and all that kind of stuff, relationship stuff. The police probably hear that all the time. People that are in, in relationships with married men and stuff like that. But that's a mile away, isn't it, from him then deciding to take a completely dark, evil, psychotic path of destroying his whole family. And also, what woman would want to start a life with a man who is prepared to kill his wife, kill his children? I mean, surely you would be thinking, well, is he gonna turn on me in a year's time? Is he gonna murder me? I don't understand what woman would have that mindset. No, how, man, that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous. We all know, it's abundantly clear, isn't it? It doesn't even need to be said. Chris killed all the children. I'm not even going to discuss it, Halma. It's not even up for discussion. If that's your sort of point of view, then you need to go somewhere else because I'm not going to entertain that sort of thought in here. Sorry, but Helena's gone. I'm not having that. Yeah, well done, Summer. That's ridiculous. It's sad, isn't it? There's people that still think that out there. That's very sad. What sort of people would think like that? It's weird, isn't it? It's quite alarming that it's quite eye-opening that there's still people that think that out there. Why? Don't understand that. I just try and think about. I like to try and get to the bottom of why people think what they do. Yeah, but what evidence? I am the truth. What evidence would there be that she is NK is what is there that the FBI or CBI are going to be interested in? Not just stuff like, oh, she lied about Jinan being pregnant, or oh, not NK. It's just as I sort of look across YouTube and stuff like that and watch videos, there's nothing. People are just kind of gossiping and coming up with their own little stories and narratives, and I think there's a lot of emotion that people are putting into it because the fact that she was involved with a married woman and a woman that had children and that kind of stuff. But if anything's going to happen, if Rourke or the CBI or whatever want to speak with her, yeah, circumstantial evidence, yeah, and it's not really strong circumstantial evidence of anything other than she was kind of having an affair with him. There's nothing else. Yeah, the DA and CBI even admitted you can't see anything on the video of Chris loading his next camera. There's nothing on that camera other than, well, I've got to say, obviously, in my opinion, but obviously Chris loading the truck and Betty leaving. There's nothing else. Everything else that's been said about that video has been invented. It was invented months and months ago, and loads of people jumped on it, and they've tried to keep that story running. Every time people have kind of called up things that make it look stupid, is what it is, then they come up with something else and they twist it. I am the truth. Are you okay? Not NK. No, not that. No, no, no. Crikey, no. Yeah, Janet Ginty. I think they know a lot more. Lead the fact. Why do you think NK's GPS put her on the side street? Okay, where is that? Where is that evidence lead to the fact that NK was on the side street where Chris lives? There's also this misconception. She was in Frederick on the day. Yeah, I admit that ping at 6:18 or whatever time it was in the morning in Frederick. I admit that does look a little bit, well, it does look suspicious. But there's also a misconception that that was the only time her phone ever pinged in Frederick, which isn't true because it actually pinged 3 times. Yes, please, Leader Pat. I'll put my email. It actually pinged 3 times, her phone in Frederick. Once was on July 14th when she admitted she was there that weekend at Chris's house, 14th, 15th, I think it was. The other time was July 18th. Her phone pinged in Frederick, and then it pinged obviously on the morning on the 13th, which I admit does obviously look suspicious. However, it's obviously not enough, is it, for CBI, FBI to even want to investigate that? And they must have reasons for that. I must admit, that is the one bit of evidence that does make me think, that's a bit odd, or that is very suspicious. But there's nothing on Nate's CCTV to suggest that there's anyone else there at that going in that property or leaving that property on the morning of the 13th. Yeah, pray for Nicole Atkinson, absolutely. Well, yeah, she is the sole reason, isn't she? If she hadn't have been there at that time, then he likely would have had a chance to try and get rid of evidence. I mean, that's what he was planning on, obviously. Yeah, thanks, Leader Pat. I'll be interested to see that. If it pings right on the side street, I haven't seen that, I must admit. Mike Lambie, she never clocked into work that day also. Also, where have you seen that? Because I haven't seen that. I've heard people say it. I can't find it in the discovery anywhere that she didn't clock into work that day. Yeah, Ian T, you're right. Certain creators are misinforming. It was the only time NK's phone pinged in Frederick. It takes 5 minutes to research the call records and establish that incorrect. That is correct. It didn't. It pinged, like I say, it pinged 3 times during July and August in Frederick. The first time was on July 14th when she said she was at the house. I think Chris's story correlated with that as well. And then also on the 18th of July, her phone pinged in Frederick. And then, of course, on the 13th of August, it did. Yeah, prayers for Nicole Atkinson, absolutely. Don't know if everyone's aware, probably are, but Nicole's been diagnosed with breast cancer, I believe, which is obviously tragic on top of everything that's happened. So, yeah, prayers for Nicole, absolutely. Okay, I am truth. I'm going to time you out because you're chatting absolute nonsense. Thanks, leader of the pack. I will have a look at that, but I won't have time in a minute, but I'll have a look after, definitely. So what I think is important at the moment, what I'm doing on this channel is just making sure that everybody has got, or everyone's putting out the facts out there, because I know that there is a lot of misinformation that's being put out there. There's a lot of false conspiracies and that kind of stuff. And to me, that doesn't help the case. It doesn't. It's disrespectful to law enforcement, and I think it's disrespectful to the families when people start doing that, when they start putting out that kind of intentional misinformation, well, whether it's intentional or not, misinformation and false speculation, which there are still a lot of people doing. So whether it, and some of these channels, go under the guise of, oh, we're just entertainment, we're just an entertainment channel. It's like, well, you're dealing with very serious crimes, you've got real victims behind it. Is it right to really call yourself an entertainment channel? In my opinion, it's not. Why did Nate's camera not pick up Nicole Atkinson pulling into the driveway? Yeah, that is odd, isn't it? In fact, you see her driving away, but not pulling up. I don't understand that either. That was a bit strange. Hi, Kerry McDonald. Obviously, it's got a time delay on that camera, but yeah, that would have been quite a time delay, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't really understand that. But the only times on that morning that camera picked anything up was, of course, at 1:48 when Shanann came home, and then I think was it 5:17 or whatever time it was when Chris walked out to his truck. Yeah, that was odd, it not picking up Shanann arriving back, but when the car arrived back. Of course, the other thing you got to take into consideration is the doorbell cam. How much footage that would have picked up. The whole Vivint system in the house. And of course, people have to twist that and then say, "Oh well, Chris put tape all over the cameras." It's like, well, they would have known if tape had been put over the cameras, wouldn't they? Because they would see the Vivint records. It would still activate the Vivint system. But then you would just have a black screen, obviously. And then, of course, he's got to take all the tape off the cameras, isn't he? No worries, Janelle. Thank you. Oh, it's just alarm, is it, Janet Ginty? Yeah. Thing is, they must have had so much more footage on the doorbell cam. I'm pretty sure of that, 100% sure of that. I think it just blows out the water, that theory that there was an accomplice car on the gravel, which would have been picked up by that doorbell cam. It would have been picked up by Nate's cam anyway, wouldn't it? At some point, whether it arrived or left. Again, that's just people muddying the waters. It's muddying the waters again. That was Betty's car leaving. Yeah, there likely is. There probably is a lot that the FBI haven't released, no doubt about that. They're not going to give people everything. But if people are waiting for Chris to talk, he's not. He's not. Why would he now? Each confession, he's basically each time he's just aimed up more to the fact that it was him. It was him that did it all. Gravy K, you got similar camera system, have you? And I also strongly believe, or it's a strong possibility, that car, Betty's car on that CCTV, looks red when it is in fact highly likely that it's her grey or silver car that people are saying she's got. And then, of course, you've got the flooding of Chris's truck lights, which obviously red, onto that vehicle at that time of night when it's that dark. It could quite easily make that car look red. Um, I'd love to do an experiment on that actually, to get a silver car and back up to it at the brake lights. See if it makes it. I'm pretty sure it's going to, isn't it? Especially on that kind of colour, grey or silver. So again, people saying it's a red car. It's like, well, you can't say that 100% for sure, can you? Yeah, that would be cool to do. It would, wouldn't it? It would be good. That would be a good experiment, wouldn't it? Has anyone got a grey or silver car? and another car. That's what you need to do. Go out 2 in the morning, drive your silver car out, and then back up or fairly close with your other car. See if you get that red light flooding on it. But I think that's a strong possibility that that could be why it looks red. Or of course she could have had a red vehicle at that time. People have showed her having a silver one months before. She could have had a red one. Hers could have been in for repair. Again, it's just kind of, people saying it's a red car. It's just like, it's just kind of half evidence, isn't it? It's not substantial. It's not concrete evidence, is it? I say it's just kind of muddying the waters of what's there, isn't it? Yeah, I think it looks red because of the brake lights. I think people even mentioned that before, and then that kind of theory changed and adapted as people started to call things out on it. Now, I don't know, but this murmur's going around that there's going to be some more footage released of neighbours, certain neighbours, some of the neighbours' CCTV footage and stuff like that. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that would be interesting. Um, That'd be really interesting if it did and it cleared that whole red car theory up, wouldn't it? That'd be great to clear that up. If there's like a neighbour, one of the neighbours opposite, or better had a doorbell camera. Obviously, that's not really going to catch. Well, I suppose it could have got herself leaving. Obviously, you might be able to make out the colour of her car from that. Um, I don't know. That'd be a difficult one though. But that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, they drip feed information shut everyone up. You're probably right, actually. They probably do. I mean, they must see what goes on YouTube and stuff like that, videos that are made and what people are saying, and it's almost like they drip feed us, like you say, to kind of shut people up, isn't it, on certain things. Like there were people saying that Shanann had been drinking alcohol and that kind of thing, so they released the doorbell cam footage, showed that she clearly wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Enki does drive a white SUV, or she did on those photos, didn't she? But there's some people talking about a grey truck, another grey truck that might have been outside the house. And I think where that's originated from is because in Betty's interview, she does mention that she saw another smaller grey truck outside. I think it was on the 13th. She said she saw it. But I'm going to do a video on this actually because in the neighbourhood canvas videos on the 14th and the police, you can clearly see that someone along there, along that line of houses, has got a smaller grey truck. It's part there. It's in quite a few of the videos, and it looks a smaller grey truck, which is exactly what she could have been talking about. Another thing I found interesting was um, in the discovery, obviously, the first time it shows that NK Googled Shanann was 1st of September 2017. I think it was a site or a magazine called Crime Online that actually wrote to DA Rourke, I think, or Well County, and kind of queried that. And they were fed back information that it was actually a typo, which I thought was quite alarming because if there's a typo in that, how many other typos are there in the whole discovery? Do you know what I mean? But then I think after that, DA Rourke then came out and said that it wasn't a typo. It was merely what the FBI got when they did a forensic analysis of her phone. So that's a little bit muddy as well. That bit. So, have they made a few typos in the discovery? It's a bit worrying if they have, but you never know. Now, I did find an article. I think it was, it was quite a while ago. There was actually DA Rourke stating that the case was closed, but it was a while ago, I believe. I think he said, basically he's got no reason to investigate anyone else. It's not a witch hunt, basically. But I think that was back earlier in the year. I'll have to find out. I'm going to put a video together about that actually. But just do they need to come out with some kind of statement, DA Rourke, or would they not do that? Are they always going to keep it as possibly an open investigation towards anyone else? I don't know. I don't know if that'd be standard practice for anyone to come out and say, "Look, case is closed." I mean, we always understood it was. That's the way we always looked at it. Certainly the way we looked at it. And certainly at that time, the family were also under the impression that the case was closed. So Rourke also said he had no idea about the letter Chris wrote about looking into Shanann if anything happened to him or the girls. Yeah, that I think it was never brought forward, was it? It wasn't put forward by prosecution or defence, that letter. I mean, again, that's very strange, isn't it? That whole letter. Something happens to me, look at my wife, and that was. Okay, that is a bit strange, but that witch hunt comment has been wiped. I can't find it anywhere. Yeah, where did I find it? Hang on. I definitely saw it. I definitely saw it. Yeah, hang on, bear with me a second. Yeah, I'll give you a link. It was actually Crime Online. There's a Crime Online website. Which is where I found it. It's not letting me put a link in there. I'm gonna put a little video together anyway soon, just about this kind of stuff. These little bits that kind of need to be just cleaned up or cleared up. That people aren't sure about. Even I'm not sure about. Okay, I am the truth's gone. I don't know what they're on about. They're trying to wind me up. Proof, baby, proof. Yeah. No, she didn't care about cheating with a married man. Absolutely. But, does that make her culpable in what's happened? I don't think it does. Certainly law enforcement won't take it that way. They won't. They will need a lot more than that. I can only find it in an article. No. Yeah, I only got it in an article. I can't find any video of him actually saying it or. I think the fact still remains that nothing's come out, there's nothing coming out regarding evidence towards NK. Chris's confessions don't point to her being involved. Like I say, people just seem to be left with, coincidences. Coincidences is not evidence, unfortunately. Um, People are left with kind of full speculation. Again, full speculation is not cold hard evidence, is it? Um, there's a lot of hatred towards her because of what she did and being with a married man and stuff like that. Again, it's not going to involve her. It's not going to get the FBI or CBI to even speak with her, investigate her. I mean, to me, it's just becoming more and more apparent that he did this alone. That she was nothing more than a mistress. Yeah, a lying mistress. Of course, she lied. She was trying to save face. Um, I mean, it didn't exactly work because you know so many people hate her for what she did. There's still a massive pitchfork army for her. It's probably going to take her years to ever be able to come out in public again. Um, she's probably going to have a completely new name by then. Possibly she's going to look completely different. Um, but there's nothing concrete uh, to point her towards being involved. That's the cold hard truth, unfortunately. And I know everyone that wants her to be investigated and locked up. It's not going to happen. It's never, never, never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Um, so I think it's just important that we try and show people or point out a lot of the false speculation and misinformation that's being put out there, and just bring a lot of light to what the actual facts of the case are. Be respectful, just stick to the facts. There's still a lot of new people that are being brought to this case, um, and of course, the first thing they start seeing is these kind of, you know, self-created, invented sort of bits of evidence that's half-heartedly put together. Then it's just going to confuse people even more, isn't it? Kobach cowered to her father like a dog with his tail between the legs. Yeah, but do you really think an FBI agent? I mean, even Tammy Lee came in an interview, and she came in, not the park one, I think it was the second one. Even Tammy Lee came in and looked her in the eye, shook her hand. These people cracked Chris in what, 2 days? They cracked him. Do you really think that if they thought for a second that she was involved in it, that they wouldn't have sat down and interrogated her just a little bit? They would have done. I've absolutely no doubt in my mind they would have done. There's no way they would have let her just walk away so easy like that. I wonder if there's something else that they're not showing or telling that just made them think, well, obviously she shouldn't have been there. I mean, people are saying that she didn't clock into work that day. Where's the evidence of that? I've heard that quite a lot. Where's the evidence of that? I can't find it in the discovery. There's nothing in the discovery that says she didn't clock in that day to work. Yeah, I know Dr. Phil did say, and I can quite understand Sandy, when they went for that second prison interview, that they thought that, to see if he was going to roll on NK, which absolutely I would have been thinking the same at that time. But the fact is, he didn't, did he? He didn't. And what reason has he got not to, really? What reason has he got not to? if he's all about finding God and coming out telling the truth and everything like that, why is he not talking on her? Why is he not, if she's guilty of anything, why wouldn't he say? Surely he would say. Yes, NK was looking up Shannon and Chris, absolutely. I think anyone would, wouldn't they? If you're in a relationship with someone who you knew was involved with someone else, married or whatever, you're gonna look them up. But then that's normal, isn't it? That's normal behaviour. We'd all do that, surely. We'd all do that. Meg and Jay, there was a lot that they are not telling. They only show us what they want us to see. Yeah, I think you may be right. I think you may be right. I think there is other information that they're not showing. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, surely they must see how this is being dragged on over YouTube. How many people are still thinking that the case was shut too soon, that the mistress wasn't investigated, all that kind of stuff. They must see this going on, surely. They must watch this kind of videos and that we're doing now and other channels. Yeah, Catalydia, I saw that as well. Dr. Phil again mentioned, about the children's bones. Now, I don't know whether he's just sensationalising that. I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? We don't really need to hear that anyway. We know what happened. It's evil and horrific enough as it was. Um, if that's true what he's saying, then I can see why that was left out. Why? What difference is that going to make? Hi, listen to me. That upsets me more, the NK accusation. Yeah, I think the whole what he's done. This just the evilness. It just breaks all rules of humanity, doesn't it? Just to kill your wife and your small children in that way that he did. And to dispose of them the way he did it just breaks every rule in the human book, doesn't it? And that's what people can't get their head around. I think that's why a lot of people have a problem thinking that he did it all by himself, because it's just simply so evil and dark. And maybe just people just can't accept that he did that alone. They have to have somebody else involved, because there was no previous of domestic abuse, of violence, anything. He seemed such a quiet, reserved guy, didn't he? And such a loving father. And we've said this many times. I think people just can't get their head around what he did. Hi, EAS South Carolina and gaming channels. One of the longest YouTube names we've got. Yeah, NK did lie in a police interview. I think she did. But I do believe that she probably lied mostly to save face. Hi, what do you see? I think she lied to save face. I think it's quite likely that she did know that Shanann was pregnant. But lying about that it's not going to make her guilty of anything other than lying, is it? I think so. People are so kind of passionate and upset about, the fact of her involvement with with Chris and obviously Shanann being married and stuff like that. Maybe they're letting it cloud their kind of logical brain, maybe a little bit, full involvement, what she actually did from a criminal aspect. Firefly after her. What her bad judgment cost her, she's probably holding it. Well, yeah, I mean, she's suffering now, isn't she? Whatever, she's suffering now for what's happened, that's for sure. Listen to me, what door do you think Chris walked out at 5:11? Was it the overhead garage door or the front door? Well, I think when he's first seen walking out, uh, yeah, it kind of looks like he's walking out the front door to me. I don't think the garage wasn't open at that time, was it? I can't remember now. I have to watch that again, to be honest. But yeah, to me, he looks like he walks out the front door. Bear with me just 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. If you choose to be a mistress, you know you're going to come second. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Chris Watts is in his truck by 5:12. Okay, how do you know that he's in his truck by 5:12? Don't forget, if you've got one of these key fobs, there's even ones now where you can remote start the engine. A lot of people saying about the lights coming on his truck and the lights flashing, stuff like that. He could have done that from the house. He could have done it just walking out. I just find it unbelievable to think that people think that there'd be someone else there, though, with that CCTV footage. I mean, think about it. If there's someone in that truck then reversed into the driveway, they're going to be sat in that truck on the driveway as it's approaching light. Anyone could walk past and see them. Anyone. And they know that CCTV's there. Chris knows it's there. You know, who is gonna risk being seen outside the front of that house after what's happened, knowing that there's CCTV there, knowing that it's getting light, knowing that public can just walk past. And all this sort of mirror lights and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just tittle tattle though, isn't it? It's just, if there's someone there, you would have seen them. You would have seen them on that CCTV. Are they really going to risk being seen? Think about what's happened. Think of what they've done. Are you really going to be just walk out the front of that house, knowing that there's CCTV there, knowing that you could be spotted at any time? I mean, you just wouldn't, would you? Common sense surely has got to kick in there and say, well, no one's going to do that. And whatever people think about the CCTV, Nate watched it. Obviously, the FBI have watched it, and they've all come to the conclusion that there was no one else there but Chris, and that's never going to change. However much people analyse that CCTV and try and point stuff out, um, there's never going to be anyone else there. What makes me believe the helper knew Nate had a camera? Well, Chris certainly knew they had a camera. Nate had a camera because weeks before he moved his truck down the road, didn't he? He was saying about having some tools stolen, that kind of stuff. So he knew there was a camera there. So if he's going to have anyone there helping him, you can be damn sure he's going to tell them that there's a camera there. I mean, that's common sense, isn't it? He's not going to let anyone potentially helping him. He's not going to not say to them, "Oh, by the way, there's CCTV up there," because they could just walk out and be seen, couldn't they? Hi, Holly, Benjamin. Yeah, what do you see? I think you were were you the first person to spot the shadow? I think that's right. Hi, Kim Timlin. Yeah, it's absolutely. We deal with facts, not theories. I like to look at it as, from a kind of as professional point of view as I can, um, and just look at it factually. If there's concrete circumstantial evidence, then yeah, it needs to be looked at. But if it's just going on coincidences and little scraps of muddied evidence, then it, at the end of the day, it's not gonna wash. It's not gonna change law enforcement's mind. It's not gonna get anything done, regarding the case or anything like that. Yeah, Holly, it's a good point. If next cover didn't pick up Shan walking home, it's very possible his cover didn't pick up everything. That is a possibility. But yeah, I mean, what wouldn't it have picked up? Um, and like I say, don't forget, Chris knew that camera was there. He certainly would have told anyone else that that camera was there. For God's sake, whatever you do, don't walk out the front because you're gonna, high probability you're gonna be seen on that camera. That's certainly how I would look at it anyway. Yeah, Lucinda, that there was never two people leaving the house. Um, Stupidly, when the um, Royal County released that footage, they released it in kind of segments, and the segments are overlapped by 15 seconds. So what it's done is created the illusion that there's one person comes out, and then 15 seconds later, someone else comes out of that house. There's only ever one person comes out. There's only ever one person, and it's Chris. It's Chris Watts. I mean, we've had everyone walking out. Even had Ronnie. Some people had Ronnie there. I don't see it. I really don't, guys. I don't. I know most people on our channel don't. Yeah, you're right, Catull. I'm sure the FBI has gone through everything with a fine tooth comb. I mean, you've got to think, would they really, knowing what he did and how much that, you know, how much that affected obviously Shanann's family, do you really think that they're going to let somebody walk away if they had in any way were involved in the planning of what happened, or in any of the actual murder? There's absolutely no way in hell they would have let that happen. Absolutely no way in hell. Hi Louise, yeah, it was a late one actually. Gosh, yeah, it's 11:10. My God. Um, yeah, so on it, over the weekend, it may be maybe Saturday, more than likely Sunday. Um, I've got a psychologist coming on. It's a good friend of the channel. Um, and not only is she a psychologist, she's also worked in prisons in the US. Um, very, very interesting and very clever lady. Um, and I think you'll find her very interesting. Um, I think maybe a lot of people now are starting to think, well, how the hell could somebody like Chris do what he did? What can we learn from what he did? How can we spot um, someone like that? How can we stop that happening again? Because it is freakish, isn't it? High Outback, it is freakish how somebody could do that. Um, so I think from a psychology point of view, it would be interesting to look at that, how somebody could do that, how they could have hidden had a mask like that for so long and hidden it from people, and how they could have even gone to that dark, evil place and done what they did. Um, so we're going to look at that, and it's just something as well that I was informed a little while ago about what NK was getting Chris into. Um, something that they were doing together and Chris was starting to get into. Whether that could have affected um, what he did. It's kind of a remote possibility, but it's still something I think that needs to be looked into. So we're going to be doing that over the weekend. So that should be interesting. Yeah. So just to recap, from the start, um, there is some idiot called Misery, whatever his name is. And there's that other channel, Granny Fanny. I don't even know if that's there anymore. But they're trying to slander me. They're trying to slander the channel at the moment. So yeah, if you see or hear it, just ignore it. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous slander. I've got absolutely nothing to hide personally on this channel. So if people look into me, go for it. Really couldn't give a crap. Really couldn't. But I'm not having people slander me on other people's live streams. So this misery guy, whatever his name is, um, will be being reported by me. Yeah, I am going to report him, Louise. Absolutely. It's not funny. It's not. I can laugh at most things, but being called something like that, no, I can't. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So if they've been stupid enough to say it on someone's live stream, then I'm afraid they're going to have to face the consequences for that. Yeah, thanks, Lucinda. I say I've got absolutely nothing to hide. If people want to look that up, look that guy up, some guy in Ipswich, go for it. Go and find him and give him a punch from me. Um, because if he's claiming if he's what they're claiming he is, then he deserves a good slap. Yeah, thanks, Outback. I heard you. I know you were getting quite riled. I don't know who that misery guy is. He was full of himself, isn't he? Full of absolute BS, wasn't he? I mean, I think he needs to look in his own house, doesn't he? Really, what Jamie's bringing out on him. People like that. The thing is, people that sort of put claims out like that against people, it's all projection, that kind of thing. People start calling people, child predators and pedos and that kind of thing. That's projection. That is, when people start doing stuff like that. They've got absolutely no evidence, nothing to back it up. They just find a name that matches and then throw it out there. Well, I'm sorry, but it's all projection. That's what that is. Yeah, it is terrible, I know. Like I've said, you really think I'd be sat here running a YouTube channel if I had a background or something like that? It wouldn't happen, would it? So I've got absolutely nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing to hide, but I won't be slandered like that. And thanks for everyone. I know Tracy fairly vague with that. I know a lot of you, quite a few of you guys are in that live defending me, so I do thank you for that. It's a shame that people get away with that kind of stuff. Um, there's people out there that are being so very underhanded. They're trying to claim that they're, against doxing and all this kind of thing, and then they just go and do the same thing and worse. Yeah, thanks, I mind. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. If it wasn't so serious, that's the trouble. If it wasn't so serious, I would just laugh because it's pathetic. But I'm not having that kind of slanderous accusation made against me, and I'm sure anyone else would be the same. Anyone. Hi, Lonnie Gore. Yeah, but I think we are. I think we've all been called child predators now, haven't we? It's kind of going through they've just kind of gone through the line, haven't they, of people, anyone kind of associated with this channel, or anyone that speaks up against that Granny Fanny channel and all that kind of thing. They just get targeted, and it's pathetic. Misery is such a... Yeah, I've never... He seems to be some kind of Howard Stern wannabe, doesn't he? Seems to love the sound of his own voice. He really does. But he can just get lost, as far as I'm concerned. Don't know who he is, he can just get lost. But I'll be reporting him, don't worry about that. Unfortunately, he's done it on Jamie's live, Jamie Making Lemonade. He's a nice lady. Unfortunately, he's ruined it for her because obviously he's done it on her live stream. Um, obviously she's got to be responsible for her own live streams. Um, yeah, but I can't have stuff like that. I can't have stuff like that up on YouTube. Do you want that? Wayne Kerr. Yeah, but got that right. His name's Wayne Kerr. There's actually a builders in quite near to where I am actually. Wayne Kerr Builders, believe it or not. Very unfortunate name. But yeah, I think that misery guy needs to look at his own house a little bit, doesn't he? Certainly the video that I watched that Jamie was exposing him. What do you see, Dad? Did you see the pics I sent you? Yeah, I couldn't see it though. I couldn't see what you were seeing in the CCTV. I know a lot of people saying they saw a lot of things in that CCTV, but all I see is Chris walking out and back in his truck in. I don't see anyone else on that CCTV, I'm afraid. No, I couldn't see it, but I couldn't see anything. What do you see? And I looked at it and looked at it. I can't. I see a lot of dark shapes, shadows, all sorts, but nothing else, I'm afraid. He collaborated with Kay. Interesting. So what do people think of this Sherilyn Cadle? I don't know if she'd come on here or speak to us because I spoke to Kathleen Houston. Um, she's assured me, as much as you can believe it, if it's true or not, but she's assured me that that project that she was writing, that book that she was doing with Cindy, What's is no more. If she does do anything on that What's case, it won't be coming out for at least 2-3 years. Now I don't know whether that's because of the backlash that she got, quite likely, isn't it? They've seen the backlash and she's pulled out. But I'll be interested to know what people think or hear what people think about Sherilyn Cadle. Hi Nancy. Whether she's sort of whether she missed an opportunity with Chris, whether she got the whole truth out of him or not, whether she manipulated Peter a little bit to get there, whether she did it for money. See you, Diane. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear what people think about that. Both, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's a possibility, isn't it? Obviously, I've seen some of the screenshots on Critical Case channel of her texts and messages to the Watts family and stuff like that. And then, there's a few questionable things there. She's now saying that that was all edited. I don't really think you can edit uh, messages, can you, like that? Text messages or messages like that. Kayla's shady as hell. Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly an odd one. It's an odd one. I know she did lose a lot of money, I believe, as well. There's problems with the publication and people ordered it and didn't get it. Um, she hasn't even spelt the Ruzek family name correctly in the book, which I find ridiculous that she would misspell something like that. I find that crazy. But and then she's now talking about having another chapter, an NK chapter that was pulled by the publishers, even though she's self-published it, didn't she? Or she did it through Dorrance, whatever. I don't know whether. But how can you have so people have bought this book and they're now being told that there's another chapter? How does that work? I think people are going to be happy about that, aren't they? Oh, I just paid $20 whatever for this book, and now, oh, hang on a minute, there's another chapter. Sounds shady, yeah, it does. An NK chapter. So what is this chapter? Is this got libel on it that she couldn't publish it because she's implicating NK? Is it just her opinions about NK? Um, does she know everything about the case? I heard her say she started talking about the red car, stuff like that. Or have people seen the red car on the CCTV? And I'm thinking, what's going on? Is this Sherilyn buying into all of this, conspiracy stuff that's been put out there? It's very odd. Very odd, and the fact that she went to Critical K, who has flip-flopped and is now all about Team Musex, but as we all know what she did in the beginning, stuff like that. It's all very strange. But it seems to be the people that know the most about the case and everything are people on YouTube, social media. They seem to know a lot more than what these authors do and stuff like that. Right, gosh, it's 11:24. I need to go. I need to go. So yeah, I hope some of you can join us on the weekend. That'd be really cool if you could. Um, so we get we're going to get a psychologist on. Um, thanks Firefly. Going to get Outback on soon as well. He's also psychologist, I believe. He's got a lot of experience in see you Outback in the justice system. And yeah, another very interesting person that I can bring on. No worries, sweet storm. It's, I just think it's important that at this time, well, no, a year later, that thanks, Louise, that we kind of challenge the misinformation and false conspiracies that are being put out there. I think everyone has a right to know the real facts without that kind of stuff going on. I think if people are looking at implicating someone else, it doesn't help when people start muddying the waters and start trying to create their own evidence, because then you get newcomers coming in and they don't really know what's going on. Lucinda, she promised AD to release the missing chapter after the Oz show. Oh, okay. Is she releasing this with Critical K then? Because they seem to be buddies. Surely Critical K's getting all the juicy first information, isn't she? Surely. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, is it just going to be Sherilyn's opinion of NK and Sherilyn's opinion of what she thinks NK was responsible for? Well, I mean, I've got a feeling that's what it's going to be. I mean, Chris hasn't said anything about her, has he? So surely that's all it's going to be, isn't it? Is that going to be worth hearing? Is it just going to be the same stuff all over again? Is it just going to be what Sherilyn's picked up on off social media? Patreon only, yeah. There's been a lot of people using their Patreons, haven't they, for the books. It just kind of generated a whole new load of interest, didn't it, when these books came out. And now Dr. Phil's got on the case as well. As I say, he's got Dr. Phil's podcast. If anyone's not aware, he's got a Dr. Phil's podcast, Fill in the Blanks YouTube channel. And he's done so far 4 parts on there. It's called The Devil Beside Me, the Chris Watts story. Certainly, if you're interested in the case, I would go and have a listen to that. I did read some of part 4 tonight. I think a lot of people were thinking that he was going hard after NK and he was going to start calling her out, but it really doesn't sound like he is. So if you can get past the adverts every 5 minutes, then yeah, go for it. Right, okay, I am gonna call it a night. Thanks everyone for coming in. Thank you to Kimberly for modding the room. I hope you've been okay on your own. If I'd known there were going to be quite so many people coming in, I probably would have added someone else as well. But I'll bear that in mind for the weekend. Right, well, thanks, guys. I hope you all have a great Friday or rest of Thursday, morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is. Welcome to any newcomers. Welcome to our little community. We've got a great little community here. We try and stick to the facts. We don't go for all this conspiracy stuff. We try and look at stuff factually. We try and look at it from a kind of law enforcement's point of view, if you like. And, we got the utmost respect for obviously the victims of these crimes, these sort of crimes. Seems like a good time. Yeah, trouble is it's late for me. I'll have to change my sleeping habits when I need to give up work. You see, that's what I need to do. Trying to run a channel and work full time. It's not easy. But no, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing what I do. So Right, okay, I am definitely going now. Thanks, Beth Ellie. So, yeah, keep an eye out for just keep an eye out for the community page. I'll try and put the day and time up over the weekend when I'll be coming back on. No, Dr. Phil is not a detective. He's a psychologist, isn't he? He's a fully qualified psychologist and that. But I don't know. Does he sort of sensationalise things a little bit? I think he does maybe. Thanks, Holly Benjamina. Thanks, Vectis, for subscribing. Say thanks to any new guys that have come in. Um, feel free to sub if you want to. Um, as I say, we've got a good little community here. We don't take any mucking about. We don't take any nonsense. So it's all good. It's like a little family. And yeah, we're interested in crime, and we're interested in looking out for victims, giving people a place to come and tell their story. So if you do know anyone, like that, any kind of victim of crime or anyone that feels that they need a place to come and speak or share their story, they can do it anonymously if they want to. Then this channel's for them. They'll find a nice, loving community for them here, and that will never change. So, right, okay, thanks everyone. Thanks Kimberly for looking after the chat. I'll check out with you after just to make sure if it was all right. It's not as easy for me to follow the chat sometimes. Yeah, so take it easy. Enjoy your Friday and the start of your weekend. And I hope it's warmer than it is here in the UK because it's bloody freezing. And I will speak to you again soon. Thank you very much.